Hey guys, BuildZoid here, and today we're going to be doing some memory overclocking. I'm on the ASrock Z390 Phantom Gaming ITX, and that's interesting. Yeah, so I'm on the Z390 Phantom Gaming ITX board here. I have I'm using 32 gigs of the Corsair Dominator Contrast Special Edition memory. So that's a bunch of B die, and yeah, I'm just gonna mess around with it because I want to see if this, like basically so far there's been only one motherboard that I have that's been able to push this kit above 4,000 megahertz. So today we're gonna see if this one can do that. If it can, then I'll be very impressed. If it can't, I won't really be disappointed because so far, the only board that does over 4,000 megahertz on these sticks is the MSI Z390i. But I think ASrock, because ASrock uses daisy chain on even all their 4-DIMM motherboards, I would assume that this board from them would also have pretty decent support for 16 gig DIMMs. So let's restart, go into the BIOS. I've not worked with this board at all, so this is potentially, this is really risky on my part because I don't tend to use ASrock boards much, so I might look like a complete idiot. Anyway, first things first, F1 still brings up the help menu, so F6 to get into the only mode that you should ever use, which is advanced mode. So first things first, let's just set up a basic CPU overclock. Okay, let's leave that disabled. I've never seen that work. I need to check if that works, because I have a sneaking suspicion that is not supported on the mainstream CPUs, but we'll see. And I know on like the X299 OC formula, it has specific per core mode, and it doesn't work at all. And X299 explicitly supports that functionality. So I don't know. ASRock's BIOS is just a mess in a lot of the time. So anyway, we're just gonna go all core. Go up to, let's go 48, 48, 100. We have spread spectrum disabled. So if you have this enabled, your BCLK will go up and down a little bit. It's for EMI compliance. So, but for stability, you just want it to hold 100 megahertz the entire time. Messing with this can sometimes help with memory overclocking, yeah, for the most part, actually, they have good tooltips in this BIOS. Gotta say, wait, they don't have a retarded mouse cursor. Nice. I mean, it's still kind of slow to get around, but it's not, by far not the worst I've ever seen. Anyway, AVX ratio offset 0. Okay, that's just auto. Cool. BCLK adaptive, we don't want that because, well, we're not going to be changing the BCLK, but if we were, then this would be like what you would use if you were on, if you were messing with like BCLK overclocking on dynamic CPU, core clock, basically if you tried to run this like a Ryzen 27, like if you tried to overclock this like a Ryzen 2700X, you might want to leave that enabled, but I'm not going to do that. 105, though we're not going to need that since we're just going to run memory benchmarks, so nothing really that CPU heavy. Intel speed step disabled. Turbo boost we leave enabled because on a lot, I assume ASRock boards are the same as Asus boards, where if you disable that, your overclocking stops working. Gigabyte are the only exception where you have to disable it, as far as I know at least. Long duration power limit, just max that out. I don't bother adjusting the time. So these are the time periods. You don't have to change those, and on some motherboards, changing those causes issues, so I don't change them because, like, if you just set the power limit everywhere to 4,995 watts, it doesn't matter if you sustain that for 12 seconds or 100 seconds, it's unlimited. Core current limit, we're going to max that out as well. 255, that's standard for all motherboards, so cool. That's the end of the menu for the CPU settings. Neat. Let's go to DRAM configuration. Oh god. Oh yeah. Yep. ASRock BIOS. Okay, let's just enable X. Oh man, wait, this is really? Oh my god, okay. And people give Gigabyte flack. This is like if you took the worst part of a Gigabyte BIOS and smashed it into the worst part of an Asus BIOS. Extreme, so I assume extreme mode just, yeah, gives us a bigger voltage range. Cool. Fixed. 1.3. And we're only going for 5 gigahertz, so let's just go with 1.3. Level 2. So what's next? DRAM voltage. We're going to leave that at 1.35 volts auto for now. We don't need to worry about that. Don't need to worry about that. Don't need to worry about that. We're not going to touch it. I want to see where the board defaults to automatically. Oh, damn. This has extreme overclocking voltages. Nice. Why is that at 1.05? CPU PLL. VCC PLL. That's wrong? Wait. I assume that's CPU... So, fun fact, what on earth? So there's a voltage that by Intel spec is supposed to be 1.2 volts, and that one's called CPU PLL underscore OC. I guess it's that one. So, nice. I just love how the only board vendors that I think follow Intel naming conventions are Gigabyte and EVGA. ASRock and Asus just, they have to make shit up because Intel's standard naming terminology is just not good enough for them. So, that's always fun. And the reason why the board vendors do this, like why they screw up all the voltage names, is because it makes it more difficult for their competitors to copy them. So like Asus was, I think, the first ones to have Skylake working without, like, got Skylake to overclock on LN2 without cold bugs. And it was because they had some extra voltages that nobody else had. So ASRock eventually figured out what that was, and that's how, and they called that voltage cold bug killer, which is just great. I mean, you know, why go with the standard naming convention when you can just make stuff up? And then we've got all our random PLLs down here. Great. So somehow they've managed to, like, why are there 3 of these? There should be a substained or standby CPU voltage. There's CPU PLL, that's a normal thing. Substained or standby. I think Asus calls it standby. And then there's VCC PLL OC, which just looks to be, I mean, CPU PLL. No, it's VCC. I'd have to look at the data sheet. I assume that's that one. This one, I'm not sure what that one is. But yeah, this is fun. So for now, we'll just leave everything like that, right? And I enabled XMP. Wait, yeah, just one profile. Cool. No, I want the profile. I wonder if that changed my... Oh, and it doesn't show us what it changed. Cool, so we're just gonna save and exit. Does this have even, like, basic boot up LEDs? Well, I can't see. Whatever. Oh, what? Do I need to change that so that it doesn't put me into stupid mode? Where is that? Is it not here? Wait, can I not tell it to always boot me into advanced mode? Oh, you gotta be joking. That's so stupid. Okay, so we have all our lovely... Well, at least they haven't screwed up all the naming conventions down here. These are correct. And our ODTs are in resistance instead of clock cycles, because Asus decided that, you know, termination resistance measured in clock cycles. RTLs, okay, we have all of that. So these... Okay, so we'll have to see how they change when I crank up the clock speed. But one thing I noticed with, like, the Gene and the Dark is that they would run the RTLs really low. And I think that's what was limiting them on maximum memory frequency. Whereas the MSI board went to just, like, stupid loose settings and it could clock fine. So, okay. What we're going to do is we're going to go 19, 21, 21... oh, they, okay, right. They also do this. 40. Let's just go to 40 and 2T. 2T command rate because we are on dual rank memory, since this is 16 gigabyte sticks of BDI, so there's 2 sets of memory chips. And quite frankly, once you have dual rank, just driving the memory is so hard that 1T becomes impossible above like 3000 megahertz or something, so we're not going to try to do that. Let's go. Oh, no, we're going to have to scroll through all of them. It's not the worst. So I'm going to start with just 3600. We're going to crank it up pretty quickly after that, and I'm going to go to 1.45 volts. Oh, I should have checked what VCCIO and VCCSA defaulted to. Okay, so 3600 is really not much. Like, that's not a test. Like, this should work on everywhere. DRAM configuration. Why is there 2 options for... Oh, right, ASRock BIOS. Of course. But I did want to check the VCCIO. Okay, so they're not... it's a little high, but it's not stupid high. And VCCSA, yeah, same thing. So, okay, they're just doing the nice, simple, set them to the same thing. So I wonder if that just goes up as you raise frequency. Let's see. 37, 33? Okay, we've still made it into the BIOS. Oh, no, it failed. I mean, F6. Yeah, it failed. Great, awesome. Okay, but at least it recovers smoothly. And it didn't wipe any settings, so that's nice. Let's try disabled. I'm surprised that failed, though. 37 and 33 should not be hard. At all. Wait, what? Why are there 2 of the... What? Man, this is why I don't use ASRock boards. Oh, that's fun. It's always nice to know. Okay, so I'll set these manually at this point. Oh, whoa, they turned these red early compared to most board vendors. Wait, how early? 1.2? Okay, 1.2 is fine according to ASRock, and 1.3... Wait, it doesn't go above 1.3? Are you kidding me? Okay, well, I will give them credit that at least they have idiot-proofed the BIOS a lot, because neither of those goes above 1.3 unless I assume you put this in extreme mode, right? Yeah, and then they go to blow your CPU up. Good. That's exactly what I wanted. So... Dual rank is actually, like, hard to drive for the memory controller, so we're going to start with something that, like, on single rank would be good for well over 4,000 megahertz. Yeah, since we're dual rank, it's just going to be way harder to run everything. What's that? What's DRAM tweaker? Well, that's not how... Wait, it's just SPD, right? I have no idea what that does. Okay. It looks like it's just an SPD readout. I'm not going to bother with it too much. It's 600. I'll leave everything... Well, maybe it'll be a good idea to disable the XMP. What am I doing for these? 6, 12... Oh man, that is really low. 13. Wait, we are at 34. Yeah, we're at 3600 and it's running. Okay. Yeah, okay. It's a little bit cast right latency happy. The Maximus 11 gene actually does that as well. And it really hurts with, like with some DIMMs, it really screws you over if you don't manually set your TCWL. Now it's not going to post, is it? Maybe I should have left the memory timing mode on, what was it, ASrock optimized. Yeah, probably should have done that. And it's not even recovering anymore. Okay. I really hope I don't have to clear the BIOS. That would suck. Oh, there we go. It's going to give us a failure to boot. Yay. F6. DRAM configuration. Okay, we'll turn that back on, because apparently the board does know what it's doing better than I do. That's not exactly much of an achievement, though. Thing is, there's a setting that I'm wondering if it's not here. Yeah, okay, I just can't find it. Now, we don't need to change that unless we're doing something special. Well, like, the thing is, there is no reason to change this because it basically just changes which ratios you have access to. That's all it really does, right? Like, you can see. Though, admittedly, the 1:3:3 ratios tend to be a little bit more stable. It doesn't have any impact on performance because it's like a mid-step between it's a mid-step between the BCLK to memory ratio. So, you know, your BCLK is 100, then it gets multiplied by 1.33, and then finally multiplied into whatever gives you your DRAM frequency. So I'm just going to check out if there's anything worth knowing about in the advanced settings menu. So they might have some stuff here that's worth using. Okay, well, it's not going to be under chipset configuration. Oh, there we go. Found that. Advance. Why that isn't in the boot menu, I will never understand. Okay. So now we're going to try for 3733. So it might. So at this point, it was either VCCIO or VCCIO, VCCSA, or the TCWL, and I'm leaning to it being the TCWL because 13 is just so damn low. 3866. Oh, did we make it or did we fail? I failed. Well, that's lame. Like, that's actually kind of, like, that's pretty lame in my opinion. Let's try something even... Oh man, they really like to... Right, alright, because we're at 2133 right now. But still, I'm gonna loosen everything out. A lot. That's the easiest way to get it to clock high. Well, we can fix the timings after we have it booting. The logic behind that. RTP. Let's go to like 12 for that. TCK, we can leave that alone. Same group, different rank, different dim. Yep, okay. They have the normal timing layout, not the Asus one where they have some of them to get... Like, Asus for some reason regroups their tertiaries. So this is the same order that you have on like EVGA, Gigabyte, all of those. I'm gonna leave the board to handle those two. Actually, these two should, I think, be 10. SG8, 4, 8, 8. And, should take... That should help with frequency again. So that, like, right now I'm basically just throwing on settings that I've used on, like, the Z390 Dark and that kind of thing to get things working. First we're going to try that works at 3733, and then we're going to go up to 3866 again. But at this point I've already kind of lost hope of this board ever doing over 4000. Because I'm putting as much effort into doing, you know, 3866 on this as I was into, as much as I was doing on the Dark. So I have, and the Dark doesn't do 4000 on these DIMMs. It does like 3950 at best for just booting. I guess we're gonna... Oh! Nope, failed. Man! The thing is, what annoys me so much is that I know for a fact that there is at least one motherboard that does 4300 megahertz on this DIMM, on these DIMMs. It's just that I don't like that, like that motherboard is not very good in a lot of other aspects of being a motherboard, like the VRM. Or, well, yeah, mainly the VRM. And then every other board I try where it's like, oh yeah, this has a much better VRM, it has a good memory layout, it should work. Doesn't work. Doesn't bloody work at all. Well, right now it's at 2133, so I'm not going to look at those. So, well, let's try 3800. Nope, that's not working. Okay, so we're going to go back to the 1:3:3 ratios, and we're going to go back to 37:33. Because that was the last thing that worked, and I'm going to check what timings it goes for, and then we'll see if I can... like, if I notice anything that looks obviously wrong, I'll try fix it, but... I'm not very good at memory overclocking, so I have my doubts about that. Like, that plan, that's the plan on paper. Practice, it's probably not going to work out. So let's see what the board's doing. Why I can't go faster. To be... well, 3733, that's about as bad as the Gene. So... yeah. Okay, well, this is all set by me, so that's obviously correct and everything. Oh no, this board's doing it too. Yeah, it's doing the exact same thing as the Gene and the Dark, except, like... again, it's just not working. It's going for 6.6. It's like, this is good for your performance, but it's like, if you're losing 500-ish megahertz, then it doesn't make it, like... Depending on the benchmark, you're going to be better off with 500 megahertz more than whatever this is, than this right here being super tight, which it basically is, but it's no good. So, ooh, I should check my notes for this. Nope. Oh, that page. Where is it? There we go. Okay, so RTWR, ODTWR should be 80. Nominal should be less than, 80. Nominal should be less than 60, so we'll start with 60. Then 120 or greater, apparently. Cool. Like that. And we're going to try this at 3733 still, and then we're going to go up to 3866. Or, yeah, 3866. So at this point, I basically have the same settings as what I did on the dark. I don't think it liked that round of adjustments. Oh, wait, I have a mistake, I think. Well, it's not posting. That's another boot fail. Oh, no, we made it at 3733. Really? But I did notice one mistake that I have in here. So we're going to go up here. Set these 8. No, I said 8. There, 8. Okay. Yeah, so it's setting these actually exactly the same as what I had on the dark manually, which is 40 and 30 for those. Well, that's no bloody good. 38 should be 65, 60. Channel A, channel B. Try that. Oh! I am wizard! I almost look like I know what I'm doing! Okay, so there we go. 3866. Oh, man. Oh, wait. This board seems to be a bit better about the whole... Okay, so... I wonder if I bump that up to 7 as well, if it'll do better. But anyway, let's see if we can go one more ratio up. 4,000. I really doubt it. Now that's fun. So apparently, like, the same settings I run on the Z390 Dark work on this. So I wonder if that means it's also gonna suck with the RGB Dominators. Oh! Oh, would you look at that? Oh no, it failed. So, yeah, okay. At this point, yeah, I wonder how it's going to handle the RGB Dominators, because the Dark hates those. Like, for high frequency, it hates them. For low frequency, it actually does really well with them. Just because they're better dims than everything else I have, but... Yeah, that's not ideal. So let's try 7.7, and at this point, I want to save a profile. They do not have a shortcut for save profile, so we're going to have to do that manually. Where do you save profiles here? This has a profile system, right? Like, it's an overclocking board. It's gotta have that, right? Oh, right. Oh, ew. There's only 5 profile slots. Ew. I've been spoiled by all my other boards where it's like I have 12 or something. Okay, well, what do we call this? 3866. Um, 2x16, 3866. Okay. F10, save changes and reset. I think I should be like 7, 8 for the IOLs. Okay, so I think it failed. Yeah, it failed. So we're going to try 7, 8 next. Because basically, as you raise frequency, your IOLs get looser. Generally, they have to be looser. Well, actually, it kind of depends on what the board's doing, but a lot of the time, looser helps with higher frequencies, so we'll see. And the reason why for, like, one of the channels, the IOL is normally lower than for the other is because that timing is for the delay communicating to the DIMMs. Like, it's been ages since I last read about them, but it's basically to do with the fact that one of the memory channels has a longer distance to it than the other one. So that's why, like, you run 50, 51, and then, or 49, 50. Though normally you'd run, like, if you were running, like, 4012, 1111, then you normally have, like, 49, 56, 6. So, yeah, it kind of depends. Okay, looks like 3866 might be the limit here. Or, like, I'm too dumb to get more out of it. I'll just leave it at that. Though, I gotta say, I think I might waste a lot of time with this board just because it gives, like, the memory section is less of a mess to navigate. And it gives you as much access to settings as the Maximus 11 Gene, so I might be able to, I don't know, like, who knows, I'll figure out that, you know, it's a very specific, like, it might be some random setting in here that you have to set to a really specific value and then it does higher frequencies. Because I assume basically, like, for them, like, the thing about the Intel motherboards is that the board vendors actually have a lot of power to fine-tune the memory time, like fine-tune the memory training algorithms, which leads to kind of, which basically leads, like, if you look at Ryzen, most of the boards behave pretty similar. But on Intel, it's just like the boards are really, really different in that some boards can do absolutely stupid high frequencies and some boards absolutely can't. And it's mostly down, like, it's partially down to how the motherboard trace layout is done, but it's also down to how the BIOSes are set up. So I guess we'll see what kind of timings we can run at 3866 at this point, right? So the board vendors have a lot of power to implement a lot of, well, to customize the memory training a lot. Basically translates into potentially much better memory overclocking or much worse, depending on what exactly they optimize for. Okay, so we do have 3866 working. Okay, I'm actually pretty happy that I have 3866 working. So we're going to save that as a working profile. And now we're going to start dropping timings. Because why the hell not, right? Like, that's the whole point of this. We're going to go to a nice, relaxed 18. That's a bit loose. 34. I don't think this can do a 1T. 16. 400. And they have 6. Oh, come on, ASRock BIOS. So, one thing that always just drives me insane with ASRock's BIOS is you can't just, like, and move on. You have to tap twice. Like, you have to tap the down arrow twice. Which, I'm just used to, like, mashing through, say, Gigabyte EVGA Asus BIOS with just one tap of the down arrow. So it's just like, press one key, press down, press one key, press down. And so, yeah, I'll often in ASrock BIOS, what ends up happening is I'll get stuck on the same option because I forget to double tap. Actually, I'm running that really awful. I can do something like this probably. 16, and now it's just gonna stop posting completely, right? That would be to my expectations. We're gonna leave everything else down here set up the way it is because otherwise it's not gonna work. Changing that many timings at the same time is generally not good advice. Oh, it worked. It's still not a good thing to do. Okay, like, if you're trying to actually, like, if you don't have a lot of experience with what you're working with, because here's the thing, I've run this kit on, like, 3 different motherboards at this point. Actually, 4 different motherboards. And this is the 5th motherboard I'm working with this kit on. So, I have a rough idea of what should work. But if you're doing this with a kit for the first time, then, man, felt a sneeze coming on, and then it sort of dissipated, and that actually feels worse. Anyway, but, yeah, it's like, I have a rough idea. Oh, wait, what's it doing? What is that? Okay, well, whatever. Really? Am I did I set it wrong or something? But, yeah, I've run this kit on so many boards that I already roughly know what I have to set it to in order to get it to work. So, yeah. Oh, that's neat. Oh man, I'm gonna waste so much time with this motherboard. I'm gonna hate myself. Because this is the first board to have, like, proper tooltips for what each of these settings is supposed to do. Yeah, I'm not gonna have a life for a while. Oh no. There's this fun stuff down here. I don't know what that is, though, at all. Anyway, so we actually have a decent set of timings in here right now, so I guess... Well, I want to figure out what's going on with my 18.8 there for the WTR timing, but... I really don't get why this motherboard has any RGB LEDs on it at all. There's like 3 motherboards along one edge of the board, and that's it. There are literally... There's literally no other motherboards. I mean, no other LEDs anywhere else on the board. It's just 3 LEDs on one edge, and it's just like, well... If you're gonna only put 3 of them, why even put them on? Right? Like, what does that achieve? There's barely anything there. Did it finally... No, okay, it's just not gonna listen to me about that. Yeah, it's just gonna do its own thing there. That's so weird. Like, why doesn't it... I own you! Do what I say! It might be the only thing keeping it booting, though, so maybe I shouldn't be so annoyed at it. Yeah, no, it's just gonna insist on those. Cool, cool. Have it your way, board. I'm not gonna fight with you over this. We could tighten up all of the tertiaries at this point, but like I'm not gonna because I know this set works, and I'm just gonna leave it with that. So let's go into the operating system and see how unstable everything is. We go. So I guess let's run some performance tests. Also, let's open up ASrock timing configurator. So I don't get why it thinks that we're all, like, both of these are on channel A. Okay, 61, 63, 6, 7, cool. So, well, there's a, like, normally you'd expect these two to be on top of each other. So, like, 62 and 63 or 61 and 62, but as long as the difference between them, like, what can sometimes happen is the board will boot and you'll have, like, a huge difference between your first RTL and your second one. And that generally means that it missed training and it's potentially going to be really unstable. And when I say huge difference, I mean, like, 10 ticks worth of difference. Okay, so it's going to be, like, 61 to 73 or something. But 61 to 63, that just seems normal to me. I mean, it's not the most normal, but it seems within tolerance of normal. So let's throw some IDA at it. Just see some IDA performance tests, and we're gonna do memory read. We're at 3866, so I don't know. What should we be looking at? I don't know. I can't think of off the top of my head like that. 57 gigabytes per second, which I think is in line with what I've seen at these kinds of settings with every other board, so nothing new there. 60, nothing new there. Actually, let's do latency. $37.5, yeah, so perfectly in line with all the other boards that I've tested. Like that's perfectly, that's as expected. So this seems to basically have the same support for these DIMMs as the Dark does, which or the Gene. So let's see, is this one set up? Yeah, that looks correct. Let's run that. Did it not work? Oh no, there we go. Just took a little while. What? Should be more of them. Should be way more of them. Windows limits, okay. Damn it, what the hell? Oh, I know. This is a... Yeah, this is a benchmarking operating system, which basically means this is going to have restricted memory. No. No. Why don't I prepare properly? Okay, give me task manager. Yeah, see, we're on restricted memory. So, okay, well, that explains a lot. No, it's gonna keep opening up now. We need to, just gonna fix that. So this, you do this for when you're doing benchmarking, because it helps with stability when pushing high voltage into Samsung B-Die. Because B-Die is just weird. You don't have to do it with, like, basically any other memory IC out there. You don't need to do that. And then with B-Die, it's like, yeah, you need to restrict how much memory access you have. Nope, it's not the drink. So now we should be able to run memtest. Nope. Well, let's see. First, that we have all of the memory available. Yep, 31 gigs. I mean, 32 or whatever. Get the idea. You saw the window. Oh, idiot me, didn't press the script. And now we do Windows Tab. And, you know, normally you'd let this run for, like, up to 400%. If you have a system that's, like, really where stability is really important, you'd actually want to run it to, like, maybe 1000%. I normally only test, like, when I do my reviews, I only test to 100% because this takes a month. Also, with memtest, what you want to do is you want to launch as many instances as you have CPU threads. So this right now here, what we have here right now is wrong, because, I mean, where's Windows? Windows tab. Because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we only have 14 instances, and I really should have like 16. Because if you have 16 instances, then each instance runs on its, like, you basically max out the memory controller if you have more instances. It also runs a bit faster if you use all of your threads. Yeah, it's pretty stable. I mean, we're only at 2%, but like these are settings I've run before, so I don't expect this to crash anytime soon. Shame about the frequency that this tops out at. I was really hoping to do 4,000 plus, but I guess, yeah, I guess MSI is just the only ones who've really bothered with that. Like, I get it, because for a lot of, like, 32, like, memory like this is kind of a pretty exotic setup. In that most people don't run 16 gig sticks, right? And people who do run 16 gig sticks probably don't care about doing 4,000 megahertz plus on them. So, yeah, I'm not exactly surprised that this isn't going anywhere, but I am kind of disappointed, because like, still, you know, best motherboard for 16 gig sticks, cheap MSI ITX board. It's just like it's really imbalanced, essentially. That's my only issue with it. If MSI took that ITX board and like just scaled it up to like MATX and put a proper VRM and postcodes on it, I'd be all over that thing. But no, ITX board with some of the best memory overclocking capabilities out there. I kind of want to see if this will do something silly. So let's try that. Yeah, let's do something very silly. 14. This is not super silly yet. Okay, we're gonna. I want to go to 12 eventually, but we actually don't need that much voltage for that. So let's try 1.6 first. And it doesn't seem to like that very much. Or did it? Yeah, no, it doesn't like that. So I'm guessing it'll do the Z390 Dark thing where you can do like 1111 at 3733, but it can't go anywhere else. Oh boy. And then we just need 0.95. Oh, and now my IOLs are wrong. I should have set those. I should have reset them. That's what I meant to say. And now it's not posting. Okay, so... But that's probably on me, because I should have changed some of the settings. Still, like, the BIOS is well featured from, like, an initial look. But, yeah, I'm gonna have to... Oh god, I broke it. It's not posting anymore. It's not even recovering. Damn it, board. Oh well, it still does 3866. So, you know, it falls exactly in line with every other board I've tested. Except the ITX MSI one, which is just like at this point I've just come to the come to accept that motherboard is like made of well, made of magic or something. Wait, it actually made it to 3733, right? Oh, Oh, wait. What's it doing? Man, this board. Okay, so we're at 2133 right now, aren't we? Yes. Yes, we are. I wonder if it'll train easier at lower voltage. We can put that back to auto. No, we can leave that. That's fine. Those work. Can put these on back to auto. There we go. And maybe not try 1111 because that is a bit difficult. So let's try that. 1212. I guess we should do a 1T test. Because I think the dark does like 3200 1T with dual rank. And I think that's currently the record for 1T on dual rank out of all of my boards. I get the feeling this just, yeah, this isn't gonna work. Okay, well, that's a shame. So we'll do 1T and that'll be the end of this video. Damn it! I really wish this had a... It doesn't have a... Does it? Oh no, it has a clear CMOS. Yay! Okay, will it post now? Well, it better post. I assume that button I just pressed is clear CMOS. And not like a BIOS flashback button, which I'm not risking anything because I don't actually have any USB sticks plugged in, so I'd assume that the board doesn't do anything stupid. First post is taking a while. I think it's, yeah. So next we'll just do a 1T test. And for that, I don't even like manually try to set anything because quite frankly, I have no idea what requirements there are for it. Oh, that I guess isn't a clear CMOS. I guess it's a flashback button. Well, that's a shame because if it was a clear CMOS, that would be a lot more useful, wouldn't it? 3200. Actually, maybe, well... So one thing with a lot of boards is that sometimes it's better to disable the XMP and then try to go for then try to set your memory settings. So that is one thing I haven't tried. So, okay, let's try 3866 without the XMP. Then maybe go up to 4000. 1.5. See, this is the thing about memory overclocking is just there's so much stuff to try. It's like, what if I change this setting up, down, or that setting up, down, and this setting up, down, and then you consider how many freaking settings there are, and you're going to be here all day. Okay, so that doesn't seem to help because it still would need manual RTLs, so... And I'm pretty sure that that's, like, well, it would need manual IOLs, and so that's just not going to go anywhere, because... Past a certain point, I don't know what to do with them. So, that's great. So now, we're going to see if we can do... We're going to start at 2666. We're going to go to 1T. And we're going to leave everything else alone. Yes, everything else alone. Well, actually, I could set all the tertiaries to auto, so... A double tap, A double tap. Yeah, see, this takes about... Well, it takes significantly less keystrokes to do this on, like, every other motherboard I own. Except the ASrock ones. So, that's just... It's really nitpicky, but it's just one of those things where it's like, this is so minor that I don't know why they haven't changed it already. Okay, so 2666, to absolutely no surprise at all, works at 1T. Great. 2933. Okay, that still works. I'll be impressed if it does like 3466 at 1T. Like, that would actually be impressive. But I think even 3200 would technically put this board at the high, like, on par with the boards that have done best in this test, so... Oh, 3200 works. So, nice. Very nice. Does more work. We are at 1T, right? Like, it hasn't... Yeah, we are at 1T. Cool. Let's try 3333. So most board, like, the Dark can't do 3333 at 1T. The MSI board doesn't do it either. The Gene doesn't do it either. So if this... Oh. Okay, so now... No, this gets interesting. So just how high can I go with 1T? Because I'm used to this not working at all. At this point, it shouldn't work. Okay, I think... Yeah, it kind of looks like it's hit the limit as well. Or... Yeah, okay, that's the limit. Pretty sure it just failed. Yeah, it did. But still, that's actually not bad. Like, I was honestly expecting it to fail at like 3200, and it did 3333, so... I don't know, maybe if you fiddled with enough settings down here, you would eventually get 1T to work at even higher frequencies, but... The thing about a lot of the memory like, especially if you're doing it for daily usage, is like, if you put X number of hours into getting a setting to just post, then you're probably going to need to put just as much time into getting it actually stable, and at that point it's just like, well, I don't want to, like, you know, at some point it's just a waste of time, because it also won't make that much difference to your performance. So, yeah, still 3333 at 1T, that's not bad for... Like, I get, like, if you were on memory sticks that just don't clock very high, so say 16 gig AF, like, if you were on Hynix AFR sticks or Hynix MFR sticks, then you could run 3333 at 1T, I would assume. Maybe the memory IC would change the requirements a little bit. Yeah. So, it's kind of that. Though I would say if you were really targeting maximum performance, then you'd still want to get something that just clocks really high, and then... run 2T anyway. Because the thing is, if you run 3333 1T, you just lose so much bandwidth compared to, like, even if we run it at aggressive timings, right? Like, we can totally do 12, 28, 1T, and just drop everything on the ground. And this is going to underperform the 3866 on memory bandwidth so badly, it's just not going to be relevant. Okay, well, 9, 4, 8, 9, 16. Okay, yeah, 16's fine for that. Let's try 65,000. Like, I'm just going to drop all of these timings as low as they go. And yeah, we're at 1.5 volts, and we're gonna do a quick performance test to give you some idea of just like how much, like if you don't have any clock speed, then it's like, well, it's great that you get to your data in the memory really fast. It's just that you're not gonna be able to get the data out of the memory very quickly afterwards. And it's not even gonna post, is it? Just to screw me over. Come on, board. Yeah, this isn't going anywhere. Great. Oh, and the video's almost an hour already. Actually, no, the video is literally an hour at this point, isn't it? Yeah, it's an hour. And it's still not posting. Okay, so I guess we're not even going to do like a low timing demonstration with 1T because it's not even going to post. Oh, well, I think I'll just wrap it up for... Well, I think that'll be the end for today's video with the Z390 Phantom Gaming ITX motherboard from ASrock, as well as the Corsair Dominator Contrast Special Edition memory sticks that I have on there. It's not really that disappointing. Like 3866 for these DIMMs is an achievement, considering that these DIMMs don't really do much more than that on 90% of motherboards, as far as I can tell. So, yeah, that, you know, that's kind of that, I guess. So, I guess I should do an outro. So, thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Leave any comments, questions, suggestions down in the comment section below. And, what else? This video is so bad that I'm even ruining the outro. Right, I have a Patreon. You can support me there. Thanks to... Actually, this video is only possible because somebody actually, like, bought the board for me. So, you know... The Patreon does help a lot with that kind of thing as well. Man, this is awful. Screw this, I'm just pressing the stop button. Oh yeah, there's a Teespring. There's links to both down in the description below. You can click on them if you feel like supporting the catastrophe that is this YouTube channel. Goodbye.